My name's Konrad Koloska. I'm a product manager for laundry care in BSH Home Appliances, which is offering appliances under the brands of Bosch, Siemens, Gaggenau, more. And I'm a project leader on market side for all microplastic related solutions. And that basically includes responsibility for market analysis, requirement derivation, and definition of go-to-market approaches, and also the responsibility for then actually getting the product to the market. Well, BSH is an environmentally conscious company, and we try to embrace our responsibility to basically find impactful and consumer-oriented solutions for all of the effects of our products. For washing, that is definitely influencing also the matter of microplastic, as washing laundry is contributing to microplastic pollution by releasing fibers from textiles during the washing process, not actually producing the fibers, but releasing them from the textiles. And even though that specific effect on how big that pollution is not fully known, we basically aim to empower our consumers to make their own visible contribution to protecting our waters and waterways. And why we believe this is most relevant basically exactly after washing and with our appliances is that fibers are most easily caught immediately after release, because that's where they are basically the biggest, and the moment they enter the waterway, the deterioration of it is increasing, and therefore we believe that an appliance level solution is a very effective point of intervention. At the same time, there is a major challenge to it. As mentioned in the beginning, we're not trying to do only impactful solutions, but also consumer-oriented solutions. So designing an effective yet user-friendly filter to capture fibers without actually compromising the appliance performance, for example, the draining performance, has been driving the development and the investigations all along. And we also have to say that the actual release of fibers is strongly influenced by consumer behavior, by what kind of laundry they are buying, what they are washing, how often they are washing it, etc. But it's actually pretty hard to standardize or change. So we need to work with basically with what consumers are doing and trying to adapt to all of the different circumstances. Basically, to finalize, like, why did BSH decide to explore that technology? We won't solve this global problem alone, but we can play our fair share in contributing to a lower environmental impact. Well, there is a lot about it. Basically, throughout the last years, I think there has been a lot of investigations ongoing, which confirmed that microplastics are found everywhere, in oceans, in soil, in air, and also in the human body. So microplastics is not only about environmental impact actually anymore, but there is research indication that there is a high risk to human health as well. Even though the long-term effect yet remains unclear. We see that research sees and is showing that microplastic is harming marine and terrestrial life, and it can harm the human health. We're looking for any means how to reduce the microplastic input into the environment, because once it is released, it is super hard or nearly impossible to remove it from the environment, especially when they are then actually breaking down into smaller pieces. We're just trying to, as said earlier, play our fair share there in the moment where we have the greatest impact. But we have to say that around microplastics there is many questions that remain unanswered, and also that remain unanswered with the specific view on the washing process. So we are actually, as BSH, also supporting different research projects in the EU about exactly that topic, about the release of microplastics from the effluent of washing machines. But we also believe that it cannot be BSH or the washing machine industry alone, but to effectively tackle this issue, it must be globally addressed, which includes all involved sectors in industry, textile manufacturers, laundry care industry, wastewater treatment organization, but also other industries where microplastic is actually released. We can play our share. We can work towards a solution and towards reducing the contribution to environmental impact, but it's not BSH alone. And still, it's a super, super important topic. I mentioned before, for us as BSH, it was super important to find an impactful, yet practical and consumer-oriented solution. And that's exactly where the Meta's solution perfectly aligned with. The product was what the product offer that we got to see when we first met and first talked was outstanding, also in relation to other solutions that were out there in the market, especially when it was coming to the combination of filtration performance and filtration efficiency, which is the impact part, and also the low maintenance effort and installation flexibility, which is rather the consumer-oriented part. So there wasn't only a focus on one of the areas, but both critical aspects that we were looking for were met to a very high extent. Plus, that was also paired with a certain product maturity that was already there when we first started talking, which allowed us to quickly introduce whilst still being able to introduce adaptations to the product, which was important to basically bring in also the expertise that we have from our washing machine world. And last but not least, like go-to-market, but also industrialization was important. And here there were production capabilities already being built up. So all in all, this simply allowed for a speedy go-to-market. And as mentioned before, this is really about creating an impact. And the earlier we can create that impact, the better. So that's where Meta really excelled. So basically from the beginning, we have seen a great amount of transparency, super high dedication and motivation to bring the product solution to life and ultimately deliver a win-win-win solution for a smaller contribution or a smaller environmental impact by delivering a meaningful solution for consumers while creating business potential to both partners, Meta and BSH. So in the end, I deliberately called it a win-win-win situation because it's good for the environment, it's good for the consumer, and it's good for both business partners. And I think this is it's rather unusual, but I think the work that we did together here was a great benchmark in terms of delivering all of that. And as mentioned to the question before, there was that very good product maturity, and one could have expected that there was a high stick rate to what has been done before, but it was actually in contrast, and there was a very high flexibility and willingness to react to the requirements that came from our side, and ultimately also introducing the requests that were coming in terms of quality, in terms of upscaling potentials, etc. And all of that paired with this open and transparent communication and early and proactive search for solutions helped us getting to the market not only fast but with a high quality product, which is especially important also for us as a long-standing company with a certain quality heritage. And it's not too easy for a startup to meet BSH quality requirements, but ultimately that's what we achieved. So ultimately, and I am mentioning that again because I think it's crucial about the success of microplastic filter solutions in the market, is the combination of a high impact whilst not intervening too much with everyday's life of consumers. And that's where the technology really excels, as there is this super low maintenance effort that we achieve by an active self-cleaning system or a self-cleaning mechanism, whilst delivering a super high efficiency, getting out up to 97% of the particles that are running through the filter. Why is that so important? Because we know that washing behavior is a thing that is very much well known and learned, and people are very unwilling to actually change anything about it. So a flawless integration into that process that everyone does several times a week is crucial for the acceptance rate of this solution. And we saw a lot of solutions out in the market that were not really considering that part in a very good way. Matters Technology really took that into consideration. And this is, from our perspective, crucial for ensuring also a long-term adaptation and product usage of the microplastic filter. Plus, and that's, I think, also something that's actually a USP, is the visibility of the impact. After now having the product in the market for some time and seeing reviews and feedbacks from consumers, the number one feedback is that everyone is super surprised of how much actually comes out of a washing process. And that's making that visible, making that exact impact visible and letting consumers see how much they actually filter out of their drain is another important step to the acceptance rate and also to the positive usage behavior and the positive usage feelings of the product. Basically making the personal contribution of each and every one tangible will raise awareness to the issue, will also create basically word of mouth, will create noise, will create people talking about the topic. So the combination of achieving a very high efficiency and capture rate paired with not having a too great impact to the everyday usage, plus making the actual benefit tangible, is where it all comes together. And that's a very strong and unique value proposition that we have here. What we see out of the launch so far, and we have launched across Europe in different markets already, is wherever we create this awareness that there is this product offer, there is a demand. So what this tells us is that basically we only need to talk about it. And the moment we talk about it, there are consumers out there who maybe haven't thought about it yet, but that are immediately getting the idea, getting the spark, and that want to play their share also in their very personal positive impact. And not only this, but also by the people who actually bought a filter and have it at home, have it installed and use it. The initial product usage feedback is really positive. So most users are actually super surprised by how well the filter is functioning. And this is basically what this says is they are surprised and overwhelmed by the amount of fibers and the amount of microplastic and other particles out of a washing effluent the filter actually captures from their laundry. So we see that the longer people use the product, the more convinced they actually are of it. And we believe that this is a super crucial moment that we need to push even further, because that will also lead people to talk about it, to talk to friends about it, to show it to their friends and family. And we believe if everyone has a microplastic filter, then the overall impact of microplastic pollution will at least be reduced. It won't be solved, but it is a crucial point. And the feedback so far has been quite convincing and quite positive.